Well, good morning, Jeremy. Folks, we got Jeremy Norris, Wind Power Solutions, back with us for a second visit. Catching up, I was just looking, you were first on with us September. We recorded in 24, September 24. So it's been a
Yeah, I'm
little
a little
while.
sad we don't. I'm a little sad we don't get to do it in person this time. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's all
sounds
right.
like we're both busy.
Good problems to have. You've been busy, yeah?
It is. It is. It is. I'm more than happy.
So where are you at now? Did you have a move since we talked
I
last?
did. I did. The last time we talked, I was based out of Fort Collins, Colorado. We got everything set up in Oklahoma. So we uphauled the company down here, and now we're a licensed and bonded recycling renewable energy recycling facility in the state of Oklahoma, and my children are now Okies.
Well,
So,
congratulations.
yeah, yep, yep.
Very
They're
cool.
loving it. They got
Ah,
a nice they got a nice big backyard and they can dig all the holes they want. So yeah, they're prospering.
wonderful. Two kids?
Two kids, yep, 3 and 8 years old. My 3-year-old's a boy and my 8-year-old is a little princess.
Sounds like you're
So
giving them a great childhood then. If you got space to run around and dig holes, you're in good shape.
oh yeah. We got to do a daddy daughter dance last night. So that was super fun. Yeah, I had a blast.
I love those. I miss those. Those are
Yeah.
good. Well, what?
Yeah, I'm cherishing them while I can.
Congrats. And what drove the move to Oklahoma?
Um, so I think last time we spoke, we were just kind of processing blade material and grinding and sending to off takers. We kind of looked at the market and we thought it might be best for us to take everything in house at this point, just with risk adversity and everything. So we found a really nice property that's really good location for logistics and everything with us performing field services too. So it made sense. We made the purchase and um, it's moved quick. It's moved really quick, man. I feel like I have a lot to say. I feel like I'm going to miss a lot too. So, yeah.
Well, I want to hear it all. So, Oklahoma, was it geographical? Was there a financial benefit to move the company there? What was going on?
No, no. I mean, our company's based out of Wyoming currently, and just from a tax standpoint, I mean, Wyoming's great to have a business in, right? But I think logistically, it made more sense to have a massive property in Oklahoma. The state has been really, really good to us. They're easy to work with. They like what we're doing. And then geographically, there's a lot of wind farms that we're either actively contracted on or looking at recycling. So the biggest puzzle piece right now is transporting blades to your facility, you know? So, uh, nah, I think that's what made the most sense. Yeah.
Yep, I believe it. We've studied Oklahoma for a lot of the same reasons. I get it.
Good.
I get it. All right. So, what's been going on since September 24? Catch me up.
Oh, let's see here. So, I already talked about we bought a facility in November after that. Um, we started scaling up our recycling process. Did last year we really focused in on dialing in the kind of who we were going to be. We took a really big look at what our off takers were, what our options were. We got all that dialed in. We kind of stayed out of the repowering market last year. I think maybe we did one or two we had on the books. Outside of that, we just did a lot of one-off work and really focused on dialing in the facility. Um, Outside of that, we've added a lot of bright minds to the company. We've hired a VP of business development.
Wow.
He's been great. He's yeah, we got a still of a deal with him. So, um, but yeah, we're just trying to put the right people in the right place right now for us to succeed and offer the best service we can to our clients. And yeah, actively we are on 3 repowers currently, and our year's pretty full right now. So last time I think my problems were growth, and now we're at that problem where it's like, okay, it's growth now. So now how do we bring all the right people in, the right financing deals? How do we bring it all together right now? So that's where we're at.
Congrats. Okay, I love this. I can relate to, right? To start something
Oh,
from
I know you do.
scratch, you got to be scrappy, you got to hustle, right? There's no room for failure, you can't quit. Then it's all up and running. I say you transition into clarity, organizational processes, organizational structure. Who is, what is the next job type to hire? All of these things
Yep.
are so crucial in making the right decision. I still use a lot of my former network senior folks from GE to brainstorm. To be honest,
That's
I
good.
did a lot of this in my life, so I can totally relate. And it's tough to when you're in the mix of it to see the forest through the trees. So how are you making those decisions on what is the next job type to hire? And you just said you did VP of business development. How'd you get to that decision?
Um, so I think from a recycling standpoint, I think me and my mythical business partner Josh Mahoney, who's never on camera,
Yeah.
we'll see if he watches this and comments on that. I think we took a look at it and we said, we're really good on the front end. We know quite a bit on the back end, but we need to add more people. The offtake market is the biggest puzzle piece, right? You can take in projects all you want, you can take in blades all you want, but that's been the biggest reason companies get on the news here recently, and specifically in the blade recycling market is they think I'm gonna get all this work on the front end and I'll figure it out. That's not how it works. You've got to have secured off takers for this to work out. You've got to have somewhere for it to go, and the states are starting to notice, right? You're seeing legislations put out, different bills to protect themselves against the same. I won't say the company's name, but against the same Sweetwater scenario, right, where a bunch of blades got stacked up and the state got stuck with everything. So I think people are wanting to vet their recyclers more, and I think the big puzzle piece here is the offtake markets, right?
Mm-hmm. All right.
I think long term solutions for offtake markets. So that's what we've been super focused on the last about year and a half now.
Let's unpack that a little bit for folks, right? So, I mean, I'm just going to use some plain terms. What you're saying is some folks were just taking blades and maybe old material and putting them in the dirt, right? Piling it up. You
Yeah.
got this graveyard of material that we don't want. And you say off taker, what you're looking for is somebody to use the recycled material, right?
Yep.
For
Correct.
to repurpose it. So are you saying your VP of biz dev is more internal to find the home for the recycled material?
So we have a lot of homes right now. I think his main goal or mission is to build on what we've already have set out, and then also identify new markets that maybe we're not looking at or haven't explored yet. So yeah, I think we're really trying to look 3 years down the road right now and 5 years down the road, right? Difference between a 100 foot view and a 10,000 foot view.
What
So he's our 10,000 foot view.
Man, what I love about this is you're a recycling company that's really solving the problem for society, right? For that repurpose the material, not just make it disappear. And what do you? That's the right investment. No wonder you're doing great things and your company's scaling, because that's the investment that I think society, our industry, the people of the planet are looking to solve. Where are you finding? What are some of the repurposed areas right now?
The big one right now is just concrete additives, right? We can get rid of bulk quantities at a low cost. I would say the other three, I'm not comfortable with saying yet because we have patent spending on all this, so
Oh,
we're uh, we're exploring some IP we have internally. But in coming months, I'd be more than happy to get on again and discuss what it is.
Well, I bet you will. I won't pry,
Yeah.
and we'll look forward to those announcements later. Well,
Yeah.
congrats, man. That's really putting the right organizational focus, not just for the
Yeah, and
company, but
I guess the best way to put it is we're trying to find, you know, the off takers that can take the most quantity and move material, right? We're in a mass volume game, so we've got to find solutions that can get rid of it quick. We're not looking to become billionaires on the back end on the recycling, right? We want our clients on the front end to have a lower cost of service. So that's been a big key to bringing everything internal in-house into wind power solutions.
yeah, congrats. God, what a great
Yeah.
focus. You're seeing the clarity, and that's rare when you're busy being scrappy and hustling
Yeah.
just
Oh,
to make it work.
yeah. I think it's really easy to put something down on paper and say this is who I am, this is what I do. But looking at it now, it's all about execution, right? It's so much harder to actually get out there and execute on what you're saying. We're cutting up blades out in the field. We've got big saws, big excavators running. Um, it's harder than you think. And then you're playing a juggling act, balancing blades on trucks and trying to figure out how am I going to maximize these loads, right? It's you've got these giant tubes that take up a lot of structure and they don't stack together. So every blade's different. You're trying to figure out new cutting patterns, and majority of our cost is out in the field right now. So we are optimizing that as much as we can right now.
That makes sense. I remember last time you were telling me stacking the cut pieces is a weird kind of Jenga or Tetris game to make
It
the
is.
load
It is.
most efficient.
Yeah, we'll get on some blades, man, and we can cut 40 feet down, and then we can turn them around and stack them inside of each other, and then the next one's just it's like an 11-foot root diameter, and you're just like, all right, well, back to square one. We have so many clients that are like, give us a standard blade cutting plan, and we're like, we can't, but we can give you the baseline, right? Because we're gonna get out there, and everything's gonna be different. So, um,
Well,
but it's safety, safety, safety at the end of the day, right? So we're just trying to figure out how to put the right tools and make everything work. But it's worked out well. We've been executing very well for clients for the past 3 years, and I think it's been an easy transition into us, you know, building out this new business vertical. I guess it's not really new anymore. It's been around for a year now. So, um, but yeah, we're identifying a few other markets in biomass and a few different things with wood waste. So um, yeah, it's a whole new world of stresses. You know, you start a company and then your stresses are okay. Who are my clients, right? And then you get all your clients, and then they're like, "Hey, can you also do this?" And then now it's like, "Okay, these are my clients. Now, how do I do this? Can I do this for them? Do I know anything about this?" And the reality is, I think stuff's a lot easier to figure out than when I looked at it 3 years ago. I think as long as you have the right people, um, you can build your company into whatever you want.
I couldn't agree
So,
more, right?
yeah,
Listen to your customers and find the problem areas, you know,
absolutely.
and then bring the experts in. And boy, I can resonate. Here's a plan of action, how we're going to go tackle this job. You're saying cutting them up and stacking them in the field, but you have so many extra variables that are going to occur, right? You said size of blade, type, the design. When you cut, does it fit? Does it stack? How's the weather? What's the terrain? Can we get
Yeah,
trucks
yeah,
around this radius or not? Yeah,
yeah.
I get it. And you
Right.
got to bring the experts to have to, to provide solutions on the fly.
Yep.
Congrats.
I appreciate it.
What kind of numbers? Like how many blades have you chewed up since you started? You got any of that stuff?
I think we are right. So I know at the end of this year we'll be well over. We're going to be at around 4,500 since we started.
Wow.
I think this year we're going to bring in somewhere between 12, 15, let's probably around 1,800 blades to around 2,500, somewhere around there. We have a threshold, right? We're not, we kind of have a cutoff point with all our material where we need to stop and go, okay, we don't want to end up like everybody else. Let's slow it down, and you got to know when to pump the brakes. So, um, we haven't had to yet, but there's a number.
Right. I get it. So you don't end up with too many blades piling up before they get repurposed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I think clients want commitments too, right? So we typically try to stay around anywhere from 30 all the way up to 90 days if stuff gets really heavy that year. Trying to get everybody's business in. But I think clients want guarantees on when their blades are going to get recycled first. Just hey, we're going to do this, right? I think we're past that point where we need something documented, and this is the timeline you're going to do it in. So
That
yeah,
the pressure of social responsibility is felt by everyone. Yes,
it
they
is.
want to
It is.
know. Yeah, exactly.
I think I think if you have to pay for something, pay for the same thing twice, um, you quickly change your thinking, right? So
Right. Okay. Now I gotta ask. I think I might have asked this last time. Does it make I don't know how big the piece of machine is to chew up the blade, but can you get it to the turbine and just do it there instead of playing the Tetris game on the truck, or that's just not effective?
that is a great question. Maybe other people have found it effective. We have not. We can control our environment very well at our facility, and we're very good neighbors. To the people we have around us. So I think it's really easy for us to, sit there and put the controls that we need environmentally to manage that process. You will get fiberglass dust. There's water mitigation systems on these machines, but I still think most turbines in rural areas where you've got farmland, cows, um, maybe some plants that they don't want fiberglass dust on. Typically, plays into all this for us. So yeah, it's and if you start grinding it up and you look at putting that in an end dump, right? I think logistically, it makes more sense to find brokers who can um, get you one way loads versus deadheading loads. So I think typically it raises your cost throughout the process too.
I get it. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Altair Energy Services, and their highly trained, expert technical staff, leveraging decades of renewable power management experience into customized solutions for everyone to meet their energy goals and contribute to a better future for all. Altair's team of hardworking, respected experts are providing full scope, turnkey repairs, planned and unplanned maintenance, system upgrades, fully autonomous technical crews, supplemental staffing, and customized dynamic scheduling to fit your power production needs. Contact Altair at info@altairenergyservices.com and learn more about their wide range of capabilities across multiple power technologies and platforms. All right, so we're not grinding in the field, we're trucking it.
Yep.
Gotcha.
We are trucking it. Yep. And then I'd say, right now we're on a repower where we're managing the entire scope from the metal, the full turnkey demolition. That's another hurdle in itself. We kind of look at all these, KPI metrics throughout our entire company, and it seems like the common denominator is always communication in everything we do. Um, so it's been really interesting, getting out in the field, doing the full turnkey process, and seeing how everything works together. It's a it's a it's a big giant ball of logistical fun. You've got trucks coming in and out. The metal scope has, you know, 15 to 20 trucks per turbine, and then you're trying to mix in the blade trucks as well. So Yeah, we're having a good old time right now.
All right. So you've moved past blades, you're into metal, and then full scope. So when the turbine
Well,
comes down.
yeah, so yep, we're still having other people do all the metal for us. But yeah, no, it's fun. But we are doing the project management on it, and it's fun. It's fun. We like it.
Yeah, that's a full job. A lot of logistics, timing, safety. Um, yeah, walking the trucks in and out.
Yep.
That's a lot. Okay. And that's you come in after the turbine is disassembled.
We drop the turbine.
Oh, you
So
do?
we come in, yep, yep, right after pre-construction, all the permits get passed. We go in, cut the turbines, or our subcontractors do. Um, the reason sometimes we sit on the back end and do the recycling, and we'll just focus on our piece. We've got a lot of experience doing project management though, so sometimes we sit on the front end, and you can also look at it from a cost perspective too, right? Sometimes it's a lot more expensive for me to mark up a metal recycling contractor than it is for them to mark us up. So we look at it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's how we've formed most of our partnerships to date.
Makes sense. What are you doing with the machine?
Which machine?
The turbine.
Oh, oh, oh.
Sorry, the
So,
machine head. Yeah.
yeah. The machine head gets. We'll strip all the fiberglass off, drain out all the oil. We'll recycle all the oil, all the fiberglass on the rotor shell or the hub shrouds gets recycled as well, and then all the metal goes to, that's a pretty established market, so it's typically pretty easy for them to find a home for the metal.
Okay. All right. And I didn't quite understand. Did you say you're not doing as much repower right now?
Last year we didn't. We pulled back a little. We were mainly focused on scaling up our recycling facility last year. So I think we did 60 one-off projects, which I look at it now, Adam, and it was so much more setting up. We should have just done repowers. I mean it takes the same amount of bandwidth as far as setting up your rental agreements and everything as it does to set up a repower. So yeah, yeah.
You get a 3 a.m. night either way, right? So do you want
It
one
was
or
a
60?
Yeah, it was a really good lessons learned for us at the end of the year. We were like, yeah, we should have just had long-term projects first. I think we did. I think we were close to 60 one-off projects last year. So it was like a project a week, right?
Yeah,
So it was either me or Josh were setting up something that following week and um yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah.
That's a lot. I understand. It's a whole lot of prep work just to get there. And then, once you're there, it's a ton of project management scheduling and planning,
It
isn't it?
is. It is, and it's such a compressed timeline, right? And I think there's a way bigger risk of losing money on one-off projects, right? If something goes wrong, you've got a day or two to fix it before that margin starts trickling down. So
That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
it's yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Lessons.
So that means there's a demand out there for these, I guess, when you say one-off single turbine repowers or single turbine decommissioning. Well, what's going on there?
Oh yeah, massive market. And I think a lot of companies should be pretty hyper focused on that market right now too. Um, there's a good amount of volume that comes out of the one-off markets, and I think it's a really good chance for companies to get in the door with a lot of clients, right? Um, they're these projects are typically higher costs, right? Because you got to mobilize on a moment's notice. You can't spread out cutting up blades and stacking a bunch of tips and getting a better rate on the trucking. So I think it's a really good opportunity for a lot of companies to put themselves on the map if they do focus on the market.
Are you
Just
seeing more companies starting up in this space?
I haven't been so focused on um, checking what's all out there the past year. We were really focused on the recycling, but Um, it seems like a lot of the companies that currently exist have existed for at least 2 to 3 years. The ones that we probably communicate with on a at least monthly basis. So I do see a couple companies out there maybe putting that they perform the service and then maybe it's outsourced. So
Mm.
um, yeah, I think it's a typical white space niche market move, right? You can just slap it on your website, say I do this, and then you see if it drums up opportunity, which it probably will, right? I think if you're a client, you're probably just typing in who does blade recycling, but yeah.
Well, maybe it sounds like another position to hire would be your one-off project manager. Sounds like a
Yeah.
full-time job.
Yep, it is. It is. We actually did hire a guy who's just going to focus on services. So, yeah, it's been great. We need somebody to manage it all though. Um it's been a while since we've had to reach out for bids and stuff. So naturally we have opportunities coming in our door, which is super, we're super thankful to be in the spot we are where we can confidently say we have an established client base. Um, so dialing it all in.
Dialing it all in. All right. I want to touch on that for a second. That there is something just so wonderful to create from scratch and then have your clients just being committed, right? You have some loyalty. They trust you.
Right.
You've done a good job. And they're just calling saying, okay, we're going to do the next project. That is hard to do, buddy. It's hard to get there.
It is.
Congrats. What
It is.
what's some of the magic recipe to building that kind of brand and reputation?
My magic recipe year one was send out 10,000 emails. That was my magic recipe. It took us 90 days, I think. I think that was my threshold when I first started the company. Me and my business partners sat down and we said, "All right, well, we really need to look at this if we don't get a PO within 90 days." And I think it was like day 88. We got our first purchase order and it was a repower.
Now
So that
this
was
was the picture of you in the Amazon shirt.
It was,
I
yep,
remember
yep. A
this.
month before that, yeah, I was working at Amazon, and I remember getting that first project in, and I called the company. I was like, I'm done, and it was like I'd only been there for 2 days. It wasn't even a bold move. I think I was gonna quit anyway. But yeah, it's fun looking back at it all now. I'll write a book someday or
There
something
you
about
go.
it.
So prospecting, right?
Yeah,
Prospecting. Set your own
I think
metrics.
oh yeah, and I think the magic recipe for us, it's been execution, right? Doing what we said we were gonna do. Um, we we don't store blades. It's completely out of our DNA. We've had opportunities in the past where, maybe one of our recyclers we were looking at, weren't able to commit to the timelines they initially said. So ultimately that is why we are in the recycling space today, right? That's why we perform all services in house now. We can control the narrative. That's very important to us. But it's execution. It's always been execution, right? Going out there and and communicating with your client. If things aren't going right, being able to have transparency to tell them right. Um, and then I think being trustworthy. A lot of our clients know us now, and they're very comfortable with just making a phone call to us and saying, "Hey, I got this coming up. What do you think?" We also advise a lot of clients on just strategies and stuff around repowering their wind farms. So it's great to see how all this has evolved.
Man, the old say do ratio, right? And then you lay it out in a field of transparency and you can't lose. Nothing is perfect, right?
I can't even think about the amount of times we fell, but when it comes to maybe something we broke something or a window got broke or something like that, right? I think the biggest thing you can do is tell somebody, communicate, and then lessons learned, right? You're gonna fail 100 times. All it takes is one win.
That's
Win-win.
that's well, yeah, and I like to say that they aren't failures if you didn't quit, right? If you
Yeah.
stayed in there to solve the next problem and got it to the end, you didn't fail, right? You just
Yeah.
solved the new problems that occurred.
Yeah. Yeah.
The old,
I guess probably don't fail 100 times financially, and then probably I think you should change your strategy at that point. But yeah, yeah, I think mentally, um, failing is good for you.
oh man, if there's a,
How you learn.
yeah, it's a great way to learn, right? If you can fail fast and continue to
Yep.
bring solutions, you're going to live up to your commitment on that do what we say do ratio. It's so important and seemingly more and more rare in I don't know if it's society or culture or I don't know the industry or something because it continues to grow so fast. It's difficult, but it seems a bit rare. So kudos on your commitment to it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What else is new and exciting?
I think that's a lot of it. We're scaling up everything at the facility. We got a bunch of buildings going in and stuff like that over the next couple months. So we've got this huge transformation um, this year with our recycling facility, and then um, growing this bigger, identifying new markets, checking out new business verticals. I think we're in the fun, chaotic growth part of, you know, where we all sit down and say, how big do we want this to get? So,
Love it.
and then, keeping a threshold the entire time so we don't overcommit to things. Yeah, it's very, very important.
You have to
Um,
forecast and plan, right? And then you live as close to it as possible and put in those, what's important not to exceed on your forecast and plan so that you don't lose that magic that you've built.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We typically try to sit down once a year and identify who we were last year and who we are right now and who we're going to be in the next 12 months. And it's just really cool to like sit there and think about year over end if you were actually right at the beginning of the year, And I think it gives you a nice little goal to go towards. So, yeah.
Good for you taking that time to sit down and reflect and plan again. So, what's going on with the buildings? What are they for?
Um so a lot of our feedstock, we're bringing it all indoors right now. So we're just building up our process out there. We bought the facility last year as just a blank slate to transform it into whatever we wanted. And now we're dialing everything in so it looks nice and pretty. And, I think when our clients drive out there, you want them to go, oh, this is awesome, right? Um, but yeah,
Are you grinding indoors eventually, or
it'll be covered. Yeah, yeah, yep.
okay,
So
more of that social
we'll
responsibility?
it is, right? It's small, fine particles that can travel. Um, you can mitigate it. You can't necessarily eliminate it, right? So we're trying to do the absolute best we can and be a little over the top with our neighbors and everything. We're on really good terms with them right now, and we want it to stay that way. I think a big part of running, a company similar to with what we do is really having that buy-in from your neighbors. It's important. We've seen it happen many times where companies get many complaints filed, and you don't want that to be a repeat occurrence, right? You don't want constantly people coming out saying, what are you doing? Why are you not doing it right? You said you were going to do it this way. So we've been miles ahead of that. Even when we first bought the property, we were all already checking out the permits, checking out the people next door to us, seeing if this could actually work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a very, very planned and executed process from day one. I think it was new territory for us, and we just wanted to make sure um, we were being respectful from day one.
Well, you've said a few times, you have good neighbors and they must be happy with what you're doing. You're trying to be respectful. The only way to do that, I just want to touch on this for everyone, is to be transparent, right? You can't hide anything. You have to be very open about what you're doing and do it in that responsible way so that your neighbors are happy. You're not, physical neighbors, industry partners, customers, regulatory bodies. To me, that encompasses what I think of when you say neighbors in general. You have to be transparent. Any struggles with doing that, Jeremy, with being that transparent?
No, no,
No?
no. We've always been a very, very overly transparent company. So we tell it how it is.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna get my business partner on one of these podcasts, and he's the same exact way, man. He just it is what it is, and if we don't like it, then let's figure out how we can all work together here. That's what it is at the end of the day, right? So it's worked out well for
What
us.
an easygoing attitude you have about it.
I do. Yeah, it's things are like you said earlier, not everything's perfect, right? You're not gonna agree on things. Some things are gonna be different than how you planned out in the field, right? And you got to adapt quickly, and maybe that's not what you had set out with your client. So when you change something, you need to go talk about it, right?
Yep.
That could impact something further down the line, create ripples. So it's just easier to talk about stuff. Um, yeah, it's great. A lot of our clients know this about us, so it's just been super easy from the get go.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as we build these relationships further.
I think, give me your thoughts on it, but I think one of the secrets or the pieces to transparency that folks need to know is that you first must be an expert in your space. This then makes you very confident in what you're doing, and you can then easily talk about all of the different aspects to it. Earlier, you said there might be some other people doing it, and they put that we do this service on their website and on their outreach emails. But if you're not an expert in your space, you won't have that confidence and then end up coming across not very transparent. Does that sound
Right.
true to you?
It's pretty true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely need to know your craft. That's step one. That's step one.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I always talk about the first live public speaking I ever did,
All right.
and it was terrible. From where I'm at now, oh, it's great, Adam. I am so confident in what we do now.
what
Um,
what was the first live public speaking? Remind me.
as for the state of Colorado, it was for a recycling event out there.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, we were mainly processing, right? And the market was kind of unstable as far as good recycling options. So I'm like over here trying to talk about the good recycling options, and I'm second guessing myself. I mean, I was really confident in what we did, right? The field services, um, the processing, the material, right? That's a no brainer for us. We're good at it. That's what we do. Um, but then I remember getting to that recycling piece, and I'm just like second guessing myself along with the audience. And I'm just like, oh, wow, I should think about this when I get home.
I
Yeah,
I get that. And it makes sense, right? Because for the folks in this audience, I think and the folks in our industry and on the planet, they really want to know where does it go? What happens? Right? You have this very, specific piece sort of in the middle. And that's interesting, 100%. And it's needed clearly. But folks outside of your network and your space, they don't understand, right? They don't have your expertise. They want to know what does happen to it, right? Where can I see it being reused afterwards? So I get that pressure to give those answers that
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially at that time when we outsource everything. Um, Now obviously it's super easy. Um, but yeah, I'd say traceability, 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 right?
that's
I
it.
think you've got to have a chain of custody for what we're doing.
Yes.
So
Okay. And then you personally, now you have no problem public speaking. This is your second podcast. It's second nature now. Is that right?
yeah, not second guessing myself. No, we've got a very super cool um, process, and I love what we do. Our employees love what we do. It's great, man. It is. It's really really awesome to build something. I'm at that fun stage of being an entrepreneur where we get to, kind of see everything developed of this baby you grew. So, um, yeah, it's kind of like the with my 3-year-old right now, right? Like he's doing all this super cool, sometimes weird stuff, and it's just awesome to see. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the business as well.
That is a fun age. Everything's very entertaining. Very
Oh
entertaining.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
firsts.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. He's learned the the reference to failure very well. He'll do the same thing 100 times.
Fall
I'm
down
like,
and
stop jumping off that couch. Stop jumping off that couch. Yeah.
oh, I love it. Yes. Just keep going. Keep trying. Yeah. Now I'm remembering our first podcast. I was wondering who was doing sales, and you were saying, "No, I'm not a salesman, Adam." And I think you are.
Oh yeah. And you told me I'm a salesman. That's stuck with me to this day.
Oh
And
yeah.
I actually talked about that a while back. I was like, yeah, Adam called me a salesman, and I still don't. He was right, but I still don't believe him. I look back at it now, but yeah, it's been great. I am a salesman. And I'm 100% our commercial department, so call a spade a spade.
Oh, I love it. Uh,
I call myself a people person, though. I'm just a people person. That's all I am.
yeah.
And then the sales comes on the back end of that. That's what I say.
You know what I've been witnessing is that more and more folks like you and I that had a technical background or a focus in a trade, right? And then went
Right.
into maybe public speaking, customer management, all of these things are akin to sales, and then find ourselves, starting to sell. It happens naturally. And we make the best salespeople because we have that technical background and expertise, right? We're not just the silver tongue smooth talker that can score the meeting, get the invite, right? Get the RFP, but we go the full distance with the
Yeah.
conversation. I think that more
Yeah.
folks like us with that background should really look at themselves and go, maybe that is a career direction I should consider.
Yep. Yep. I've always said that I think field people make the best estimators. So I think it's the same for sales too, though, right? I think being able to look at what you're about to do and nail down a price and nail down a client, right? That all comes from being able to talk about it, right? Clients get comfortable with somebody who knows their craft.
Yes.
So who better than the guy that turned the wrench, right? Or the guy that cut up the blade.
Yes.
So
Yes. So
couldn't agree
externally,
more.
yeah. So externally, the customers, you're satisfying, you're filling that need, right? You are the expert. You can answer all the questions, 5, 6 questions deep in the conversation. But then internally, there's extra magic. You talk about the ITO to OTR handoff, right? When you won the bid, you got the PO. Now you got to give it to the services folks or team to go execute. If you were the person that handed it off, they're getting all of the information they need to go be successful and execute that job versus somebody
Oh,
that's never done it before. It's harder on
yep,
them.
yep, yep, yep. Sometimes there's a little bit of scope gap in there. Sometimes when you didn't know the scope you were bidding, so sometimes you gotta be like, hey, we don't let's tighten it up a little bit when we get out there too. By the way, margin's a little tight.
What's Up Renewables is growing, and we're looking for new sponsors to join us. Our show connects leaders, innovators, and field professionals across the renewable industry, and our sponsors are part of that conversation. Some have seen their network expand instantly. Others have grown revenue and brand visibility through the connections they've made right here. If you want your company to reach the people driving the future of clean energy, now's the time to get involved. Contact us at media@whatsuprenewables.com to become a sponsor today.
I've been out in the field. I was actually just out in the field in December hand cutting blades. And I won't share the photo, but I have a photo of my business partner took of me laid out flat on a blade because I had been cutting. But it's just one of those things you got to go out and do it, right? Sometimes you need to sit there and check yourself and know what your employees are about to get into. So it's still, yeah, I still like to go out and do it. He's actually out on a wheel loader right now out in Ohio. So yeah.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
Yeah,
But
we get his daily office. He's got a coffee cup and his computer and does all his emails. And he's like, "This is my office." I'm like, "Okay, well,
of,
it's not a pretty office."
that makes sense from you guys, right? You make it work. And an office can be anywhere these days. So
Yeah. He's out there right now trying to just optimize everything right. He's so hands-on with everything in this business, and he's been such an integral part of our operational success. Um, there's nothing he can't fix. I mean, it's just gets into the deep details of everything. If I've got a question on something that is operational, right, our equipment, people, best methods, best practice, yeah, he's got an answer
so
very quickly.
is he focused on managing the execution of the work?
Yeah, and then figuring out how to get efficient now, right? We're into that phase where we've got our price locked in with the market. The market's responded. They like the service. They like the price. It all makes sense. We're doing what we said we're going to do. We're actually recycling stuff. Um, so he's really focused on operational efficiency, right? So we can start dialing our cost and bringing down our cost. Yeah,
Well, someday I look forward to meeting the mythical Josh.
yeah,
Haven't been able to meet him yet, but I'm sure that day will come. I kind of want to just backtrack. I love to give as much career advice on this podcast as possible, right, to help all of our colleagues out there. But, back to that sales piece, if you're in a job, in my opinion, if you're in a job that's sales, business development, account management, customer relation, and you haven't done the work, my advice is take a year and go into the field and work and go for a year. I know it
yeah,
sounds huge
absolutely.
and maybe just overwhelming, but you'll walk out such a stronger sales professional. Spend a year. And I say this a lot, I get a lot of flack. That's just too much. That's not my life. Well, if you want your career to grow, probably should be
Yeah.
your life for a year.
College degree takes 4 to 6 years. Like, one year's not that long,
It's not. It,
It's not.
it's really
It's
not.
fun. It's fun. Some of the best times of my life, after I graduated college, I remember I sat in the office, for like a week or two, and I was like, I do not like this. This is not me. And I got into wind right after that. It was torque and tensioner for an EPC company, and I probably installed 14 or 15 new construction projects with them. It was fun. I loved it. I loved being out in the field. It's such a renewable energy is such a rewarding experience, being outdoors, being up tower, you grow bonds with people. I still talk to people who are still doing torque and tensioning and maybe they're crew leads now, but there's some of my favorite people. I just had a buddy text me last night about reminiscing about a time when we were up tower. I won't get into the details, but yeah, you build bonds that way. So
Yes, and everybody's career is going to grow, and you get to grow and support each other for years to come.
yep,
So, have you heard this? I've been hearing this in our industry, companies adjacent, let's just say, to you and I.
okay,
The sales folks, we'll just generically call that, that bucket of career types, say we're not doing well, we're losing customers, jobs aren't getting executed correctly. And my response is go do that job for a year. Know what it feels like and looks like to show up to the site and not know all the details of the scope of work. not have the right tools ready because you didn't understand those things, know what it's like to move around and not know where you're going to sleep the next day, when you're going to get your next meal a lot of times, or where it's going to come from, right? Because
Yep.
those are the funny things that happen when you're moving around in the country. But when
More than once or twice.
you bet, and but not having the right understanding of the scope of work, knowing what completion and job satisfaction means to the client, the tools, the plan of the day every day, you got to know what that really looks like and feels like, and then you'll start communicating better with your services team, ITO, TR handoff, so that they can be successful and your customers won't go away. Have you been
Yeah.
hearing
Yeah.
things like that from?
I have, and I fully support and agree with what you're saying. Customer appreciation is everything, and I think the salespeople are they're like the pharmacist of like the the doctor industry, right?
Mm.
They kind of bring it all together. They've got to know everything, right? So I think if you really want to be good at sales, yeah, definitely know what's going on out there.
Yes.
Know why something happened, why you lost a little margin here. You know, um, it's been a very big piece of us constantly re-strategizing how we're doing things out in the field. It's still why I go out into the field to this day. We'll get a new blade in, and I get that little itch. I'm like, well, let's go see how good we can actually do on this project. So, me and Josh will go out there and cut up a blade, and yeah,
Okay, I want to add in one more struggle that occurs when you're not an expert in your space and in sales. Not only will you lose customers, you'll lose your great folks executing the work, right? Because then they were not able to be successful in their job, and they're
yep,
going to go, "Man, I got to go find something else to do with my career," right?
yeah,
This
yeah.
is
This is
embarrassing.
not, yeah, yeah. I think it's really hard to build trust in a company when it's like, man, we never have the right tools for the job. Like the baseline plan they set out was not a baseline at all.
Yeah.
I think that's a constant struggle. So
Yeah.
give the PMs out in the field the right tools for the right job, right?
Yes.
Make everything go smoother. Sometimes spend the extra money to get the right things, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. All right. I'm going to, just for fun, an analogy, but you mentioned pharmacist. And for me, the medical industry is hilarious. And I'll share a story personally. 2 days
Please do.
ago, I went to a dermatologist. I haven't been like one other time in my life. I'm getting older. So, hey, are these spots things are okay? Not okay.
Yep.
Right. And everything's okay. Everything's okay. But at the end of this, I'm sitting on, that silly half a bed they make you sit on. And I got my shirt off. And this lady is the doctor. She's just rattling off all this information. And she goes, "Any questions?" And I paused for a second. I just laughed. And I went, "I have no idea what the meaning of any of those words are. I've never heard them before in my life. I don't know. Am I healthy? Is this okay? Can you just tell me?"
Yep. Yep.
I,
Yep.
I don't speak their language, right?
It's true.
They need to
It's true.
speak my language. I didn't go to medical school. I have no idea what these words are. It's hard.
I'm glad the analogy made some sense then.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
to think about it for a second after I said it. I was like, wait, is that right?
You got to speak the language. She wasn't speaking my language, and I'm the customer, right? I'm the customer, and you're not
Yeah.
speaking
But
my language.
you look okay. Are you okay?
I said everything's
Everything
fine.
everything turned out after you deciphered
Yeah, yeah.
the mysterious lingo?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like too many sunburns and a little too much stress. I'm okay. it's
Gotcha.
it's
That's
all right.
perfect.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. But you get it, like when you go and you meet with a customer and you don't speak their language, you got a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. You got to learn to speak their language. You have to know the technical pieces of what they're doing and speak to them that way. That makes you a good professional. That's my point.
Yeah, I think really learn how to connect with somebody outside of like a surface level conversation, right? Of how's the weather, how's your career? Ask them some meaningful things. I think that builds instant connection, right? Ask them what their goals, their passions are. Make it work though, right? Sometimes it's a pretty weird question to ask, but you know what I mean? Like, I think find something to connect with people on, especially when it comes to new people I'm talking to, right? Some of them I haven't, I'll do a little research on people, right? And I'll figure out if we have things in common or but that's usually how I establish connection.
Yeah.
I think,
Talk to them about their job, right?
yeah,
They're focused on uptime, on reliability, megawatts, right? Storms coming in, maintenance is due, get rid of this
all right.
turbine, build the next one. Talk to them about what will help them be successful in their career. Now you've got a partner and a good customer.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they're probably experts and they want to talk about it. So
Of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
a good intro, good icebreaker for any conversation.
Yeah. So I love that you settled in and accepted that you're a salesperson, and I think that's
I,
so
I
cool.
I did. I'll take the name tag, Adam. I will.
You kind of put your
All
head
mine.
down. Don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah. For I tell you what, for a week I'll go put sales on the back of my LinkedIn. CEO/sales.
I love it. I'll watch for that one. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and we need more technical experts moving into that space.
We do. We do. We
Yeah.
do.
All right. How about you personally? Are you overworking yourself? Are you managing some
No.
work life balance?
I'm I probably am overworking myself, but it's part of the gig, right? It's what we signed up for. But work-life balance, I, I I think you just got to learn to shut the phone off, right? You get done at 5 o'clock. Maybe you have one, two important calls that week that might take place, but learn to shut the phone off, disconnect, turn it off. Don't look at Outlook at 10 o'clock. Go get a good night's sleep, go exercise, you know.
Yep.
Those are all important to prevent that brain fog from coming in when you get overworked for, just repeated work for 4 to 5 weeks, 60, 70 hours a week. Um, you think better. You think better when you disconnect for the entire weekend and yeah. Like this podcast. This is great on a Sunday. This is yeah, I love it. I love it.
Excellent. And then be present with your family if you have one, right? Very
Always.
important.
Always.
Yeah, that's a tougher one for guys that like to work too much. Be a good husband, be a good dad.
It is. It is. It's not too hard for me. My kids are so fun. And I'm a child at heart. So yeah, I'll go out, ride my bike, shoot some basketballs, go play in the mud. It doesn't bother me. That's part of the gig.
Oh, I love it. Very cool. Well, some exciting things for you, your family, new home, new location, new adventure for the kids, and Wind Power Solutions is scaling, and you're getting you're focused on organizational strategic growth. That is a wonderful place to be, buddy.
Yep. Yep. I appreciate it, man. You should make a trip out here sometime. We'll show you what we got going.
Where in Oklahoma?
We are right outside Oklahoma City. About so the facility is 40 minutes to the west of Oklahoma City.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on the docket this year.
Please do.
I'm putting that on the docket this year. Very cool. All right, buddy. Well, I'm glad you got on here and gave us all a good update on Wind Power Solutions and you personally and your family. Really appreciate getting that update and seeing what the exciting new things are. And I'll look forward to the next update and seeing what else
Absolutely,
happens.
man. And yeah, I wish you and the team many successes as well. It's really awesome to see what you guys have done with the podcast. I love it. I see the clips on LinkedIn all the time. You do a wonderful job, man. So
Oh,
kudos.
thank you. Appreciate that. Just trying to give everybody a nice, loud voice in our industry, share the stories, and network a little better together. That's all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, Congrats. Well, hey, you let me know when that IP, those secrets you got, are ready to share, and then we'll talk again.
Yeah, we come out here. We'll do a live podcast out here.
Ooh.
Break the news.
All right, Jacob, we're going to Oklahoma City sometime. All right, Jeremy. Thank you very much and
Yeah.
take care.
Yep. Cheers, my friend. Take care.